Hey up lads and lasses, welcome back to the channel and what is the second episode of Noob-Enduro. So on the last episode we discussed what Noob-Enduro was, and it's basically me wanting to travel around the world on an off-road or enduro type bike. The trouble is we know nothing about off-roading or enduro or even travelling around the world, so that's what this series is all about. Now this is the episode that I have been looking forward to the most because I get to choose the motorcycle that's going to take us around the world on an epic adventure. So what are the options then on the table? We're going to start with the one that's had a couple of comments, and that is the BMW 650 GS. Now the 650 GS is a workhorse. It's an early 2000s bike and it has been around the world and a lot of people have done very amazing things on it. The trouble is though, they're very old. If you look online you can't find one with less than 50,000 miles on them generally. They probably have got another 100,000 miles in them, but they're only going for about £3,000. The problem for me is they are old and they weigh about 177 kilograms. We'll put the stats up on the screen now just to show you. The other option we've got is the Armstrong MT500, but they are very rare in the wild. We cannot find one that's decent. I look every week for it, but I just can't seem to find one that comes up that's in a decent enough condition I think will go the miles. Now there is the Honda option, which is the CRF 250L or the 250 Rally. Now these came out in like the mid-teenies I think, so around 2015 for the decent ones, and they originally were 250cc engines, 23 brake horsepower, and they weighed about 144 kilograms off the top of my head. Here's the stats right now. Now for me, with the 250L and the 250 Rally, I do like the bikes. It'd be perfect for me. They are a bit tall I think, so I'd have to get a lowering link for them, but they have gone the miles. There are people like Itchy Boots that have gone the miles on these bikes, which is absolutely amazing. So I just know there's that Honda support in every country. If you break down you will get it. The issue for me is I like to have the newest kind of model, and there's a lot of criticism about the 250 saying that it's just lacking that last bit of power and that torque that's needed to give you the perfect off-roading experience. So the other option that we've got is to go with the CRF 300L or the 300 Rally. Now the 300 came about when Honda listened to its customers regarding some of the deficiencies in the 250 engine. So they brought it back out. I think it's a 298cc now. Here are some of the stats. I think it comes in at maybe 2 kilograms lighter. The main difference between the Rally and the L isn't very much, to be honest. See, now the 300L is more suited towards budget-friendly people. I think it's about £1,000 cheaper, somewhere around there. It doesn't have any difference in regards to performance stuff. There's just a little bit less fare in there. There's a little bit less of a windscreen, and the lights are different. They're not LED. So, you know, we could possibly go down the 300L route. The trouble is though, I'm a Yorkshireman. I've got, like I said, short arms, deep pockets. It's very hard for us to get money out of ourselves. So we've kind of weighed up the options. I think that the GS 650 is out of the question really. I don't really like the idea of a bike with way too many miles on it and maybe multiple owners. I don't know where it's been, I don't know if it's damaged, I don't know the service history. So the price range, £3,000, isn't too bad, but you know, what's the reliability going to be like on such an old bike that's been abused? I don't know. Now the Honda CRF 250L or the 250 Rally, they're very budget friendly. You can get them for about 3,500 now in decent condition still. The difference is though, has it got the power to get me around the world? A lot of people saying just skip the 250 and go straight for the 300. You see, now the 300 probably would be more suitable for me because I do want to get a bit of grit. I am used to riding a Ducati, don't get me wrong. I have got the Honda Monkey, but I want somewhere in between the Honda Monkey and the Ducati. So a 300cc would probably do me quite well. The only difference is the price tag. You know, can I afford a 300? The answer is no, I can't. You see, now I know what you're thinking. What's poor Top Boy Johnny going to do if he can't find himself a decent motorcycle for a decent price tag? So I'll tell you what we have done. We have entered the hell that is Facebook Marketplace. Now this place is dodgier than Tatooine. Like, everybody wants to rob and steal from you. I've been looking at bikes for the last 6 weeks now. I've been refreshing it constantly, trying to find the right one. So I'll tell you what we have looked at. We have seen the 650 GS. I did look into it. I did consider it, honestly, lads. I did. But I can't find one that's probably less than £3,000 and has a decent set of mileage on it. I just don't see me paying £3,000 for something that has over 50,000 miles on it. It just doesn't seem like value for money to me, especially when they've already been hacked in and taken on these massive journeys, and what other problems are going to come about with them. The next one was the Armstrong MT500. Now this bike is something that caught my eye. I do think it looks fantastic and it is British, and I've been told that this bike will go forever. It was designed to carry ammunition across enemy lines and across country between camps and stuff. So the single cylinder engine is apparently absolutely solid and it will run forever. The problem I've got is I can't seem to find one that's decent for the price. Now one unicorn did come up on eBay and it was 1,200 quid, and I think it had about 20,000 miles on it, and it just looked like it'd been cared for and cherished. But with it being 1,200 quid, it was snapped up like that. I literally just couldn't quick enough buy it. It came up in the morning. As soon as I got home, after it came up with a notification, it'd gone. Now, Facebook Marketplace is an absolute minefield when it comes to shopping for a CRF. There's the good, the bad, the ugly. And you can just tell by some of the posts that they're absolute scams, or, you know, they're being stolen bikes. They just want to get rid of them. There's no license plates, apparently not road registered. So I've had to do a lot of just delving around things. But there are a lot of legitimate bikes out there. And there's a lot of people selling some decent ones with a lot of mods on them for a reasonable price, I suppose. The trouble I've got is I've got £4,000, and it doesn't go very far in the CRF world. Even 250Ls, they're going for about £4,000 with, you know, quite a bit of mileage on them. I was looking at maybe if I was going to get a 250, I'd want to go for the Rally because it has the higher capacity fuel tank and the screen and the LED lights. I do think it looks a lot cooler than the L, don't get me wrong, but they're going for about £4,500, and I'm not spending that much money. I've got to stick to my budget. Now, what I have found though is I have found one gent who is selling a bike, and I won't say which one it is, whether it's a 250 or the 300, but we're just about to shoot over to his now. I'm going to take a look at it, but we have been doing a bit of haggling and a bit of negotiating on there, and I'm hoping that I can get him down below the price that I'm willing to pay, which is £4,000. So we'll catch up shortly. Right, lads and lasses, boys and girls, the moment you've all been waiting for is finally here. We've been out, we've found a bike, and we have purchased this bike for an absolutely phenomenal price. So without further ado, here it is. And here it is, sports fans. This is a 23 plate, believe it or not, CRF 300L that I bought off a lad in Keighley. So yeah, I paid a lot less than £4,000 for this, including my tax and insurance for this bike. See, I've only been riding for just about a year and a half. This has come in at less than £4,000 in total. Now, it's not perfect, but it has only done 2,000 miles. So it was registered in December. It's done 2,000 miles since then. Mostly just lanes and everything, just a young lad booted around. But it was a nice gent and everything. He just needed the money for something else. But yeah, there is a few little scuffs on it. But I'm not too bothered about that because I'm not precious about this bike. It is going to go around the world, so it is going to get scuffed up, and we are going to damage it just a little bit. Now, CRFs are commonly red. That's the most popular colour I seem to find. But I really wanted a grey one. I thought that if I go wild camping and go off the beaten track and I just want to kind of be, you know, lost in the wilderness without being disturbed, I thought that this would be less garish and less stand out here. So I don't want to be leaving my bike next to a river going for a swim and someone's spotting it from the side of the road. So I think grey would fit in a bit better. Now, to get the price down on the bike, I did have a good look over it, and I did find little things like the indicator had snapped, and there was a few little scuffs on the side of the bike. And believe it or not, these scuffs aren't from the trails. The lad was keeping it in his kitchen, and this is just from moving it around and hitting the worktops. But I'm not really too worried whatsoever about that. So aside from a couple of scuffs and the broken indicator, this is pretty much a brand new bike, and I'm just in disbelief that I managed to get it for less than £4,000. It even comes with Oxford heated grips. I've never had heated grips on a bike. I'm just used to my fingers freezing, so I'm really looking forward to them. This bike is going to go out in winter. I'm not going to be precious of it, and I'll just probably take it to the supermarket and jet wash it afterwards. There is one thing though that I found with this 300L, and it's a problem with most CRFs and short lads like me. Now, I'm 5'7". This here is a big bike. If I put my foot over it like that, I am on my tippy toes, as you can tell. Now, that can be remedied by fitting a lowering link, which I've got on order at the moment. I don't fancy kind of taking this off onto the trails without fitting that lowering link, because if I go up onto a little bit of a camber and I start to tip one way, you know, it's going to be a long time until my foot touches that ground, so the chances are I'm going to fall a bit easier. So if I can just take it down an inch or so, my feet will be comfortable on the floor. Another thing about this bike is it's got a different front wheel to a different back wheel. I think we've got the Inaki Wild on the back here, and we've got the stock tyre on the front. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I'm not going to plan on changing them anytime soon. That's just something different with the bike. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed with the bike. So here she is, sports fans, the steel pony that's going to take us on our epic adventures. I'm dead excited to get out on the trails and the green lanes with this bike. Just before we do any of that though, I am going to fit this new lowering link and get that set up so that I can just go straight away and I've got no worries about touching the ground. But otherwise, I'm dead chuffed. I'm dead happy with the price, I'm dead happy with the colour, I'm dead happy with the condition of this bike. I'm dead happy just to learn anything going forward. So in the next episode, let's, stop all this boring stuff now. Let's just get out on the road and start learning to ride enduro. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next installment.